How many of us are aware that our fingerprint patterns often speak volumes about our inner architecture, not as labels, but as quiet reflections? In my work with biometric aptitude and fingerprint patterns, I very often notice that certain fingerprint patterns quietly reflect how a person works and also how they express themselves. And if you look closely at this pattern that you see on screen, you'll notice a clear center, with an eye in the center, just like a peacock feather. That's how the name of this pattern is known as peacock whirl pattern. And you'll notice a clear center with lines that open and flow outward. It almost feels like a feather, expressive, aware. And one such pattern is often associated with precision, and that is what this pattern is all about: creativity and a strong eye for detail. Not sure how many of you would resonate or have this pattern, but let me share some of the interesting characteristics of these people that I have seen in my experience with biometric, and of course, with some statistical data available. People with this pattern often work with accuracy and refinement. You'll see them working with a lot of precision. They tend to have an artistic or creative inclination, an eye for detailing, and a natural ability to observe minute nuances in people and even in situations. There is usually a strong inner value system at play, a quiet sense of ethics and moral clarity. They are not loud leaders. Their leadership is magnetic, charismatic, and people are drawn to them naturally. They lead through presence, clarity, and vision rather than control. That is their leadership style. This pattern is often seen in people who think out of the box creatively, work differently from the crowd, and prefer meaningful contribution over attention. Again, what I'm sharing is not a label or a diagnosis, it's simply an observation, a pattern. So these patterns don't define us, but they quietly show us how we function best. Patterns speak volumes about inner architecture when we learn how to notice them. So if this resonated with you, notice what stood out. Have you ever checked and looked at your fingerprint patterns? You don't need to analyze your fingerprints right now. Sometimes recognition comes before evidence. And if you've noticed your fingerprint patterns or you want to explore how these tendencies show up in real life, in work, learning, leadership, or personal growth, feel free to reach out. Inner architecture reveals itself quietly. Patterns speak volumes.